Next, I've got a few slides to cover some health and safety information that we need to pass on to all students. We have to take health and safety at college very seriously, and do so. We have a duty of care to every student and members of staff to make sure that they're safe when they're here and we're looking after them and they're not in any danger of any kind. We have a health and safety officer called Les Roberts, who some of you might already have met or know. It depends on your subject that you're studying. Some subjects have got a lot more health and safety input than others, depending on equipment they need to use or where they study in workshops or whatever. But generally, if you've got any concerns about your health and safety, then you're best to raise them with your PAT or your lecturer in the first instance, or you can email directly to Les's email address, or raise it with another member of staff if it's more appropriate. The following are some of the signs you might see around the college. Obviously the red ones are things that you're not allowed to do, obviously. The yellow ones are normally things warning you that you're at risk or of danger. Slippery floors, high voltage cables, sorts of things. The blue ones are mandatory, meaning that you don't really have a choice in these matters. If you're in areas where blue signs say you have to wear a hard hat or ear protectors, then you have to do so, or shut the fire door, etc. The green ones are the signs that are directing you to safe areas, whether it's first aid or a fire exit, to an outdoor area that's to look after yourselves. What happens if you have an accident? Well, legally we have to record every kind of slip or trip or fall or burn by law. So and report these stats on an annual basis to government bodies. So if you happen to have a mishap in the class, your lecturer will normally contact reception or a first aider, and they will treat you and record the details. If it happens out with class, the main reception areas have got a list of first aiders who will take you to the first aid room and treat you and also record it as well. That's really all we need to say about that, just to let you know that's what happens and should happen. If there's a fire alarm, we have like fire assembly points for each building, which is the designated area for you to congregate once you've evacuated the building. This is where we would do our head counts and make sure that there's nobody in the building that's at any risk. That's just, these signs are green, and you'll be directed to the one that's most relevant for you. If you have a mobility impairment or a sight impairment, you'll have your own personal evacuation plan, and there'll be a member of staff designated to, or a fire marshal who's designated to help you out of the building. So you should know where to wait in that instance, and you should be taught through in advance. The fire alarms are tested on a Tuesday morning every week, usually at 10:30. You'll hear a continuous noise for around 10 to 15 seconds. If that same noise happens at any other day and any other time, then it's for real, so you have to evacuate, because it might be a real fire incident, so we need to evacuate. Finally, I would like to let you know about our student association. The student association is there is part of the student voice, or the main student voice for all students. It's made up of students and paid students who are elected each year to represent you, and the association is basically the voice of the students at college. So what do the Student Association do? Well, this is some of the roles they have. They are the voice of the student. So if you've got if you want to feedback on issues around your own subject or your own course, good or bad, then the Student Association will do that with you and for you. You've also got an input into how you think the college should change or run, or facilities that we don't have, or things that you would like to see. You also can feedback on the wider University in the Highlands and Islands part of the college. You can also link into national issues that affect students on behalf of what we feel around in Perth College and beyond. So there's a whole range of issues and roles that it has, including if you need any support for any reason. and you need guidance around anything that's conflict, or you get yourself into a bit of trouble, then there is support there if you need it, and expertise that can help you represent yourself at, I don't know, in a college that formal kind of disciplinary sense or something, to make sure that you're treated fairly and get the support you need. But most of the time, it's a very valuable role, and they're very busy, but they really do rely on the students letting them know what they feel and what's good and bad about their experience at college. This is our elected student conveners. We have 5 conveners that are paid. They're full-time students, but are part-time students, but are paid by the college to engage with the student population and then represent your views back to the college management and the college setup. So we've got 5 conveners this year. They've all got like a specific role, even though there's not a lot of overlap. The Welfare and Communities convener says at the bottom there it's to be confirmed, but we know that the representative for that is Rebecca Whitt, so she will be the person who's leading on Welfare and Communities side of things. And as you can see, the other elected students have got their own specialist areas that they would like to move forward and get views on. If you want to speak to anybody in the Student Association, or anybody in particular, then that slide will give you the details of how to find them and where they are. They'd be more than happy to speak to you in person, but obviously that's not always possible, so they are on Twitter, they are contactable by phone, they do have a Facebook page as well, but Room S101 in the main library is their office, and there should be at least one member of staff there on a regular basis, so you can pop in if you need to speak to them face to face. One of the things you'll probably find in the next couple of weeks is the Student Association will probably be in most classes, or trying to get round as many classes if they can, and trying to encourage any members of that class to become class reps. One of the ways that we have tap into the student voice is to try and get a class rep in every single class we can in college. If we can get one in every class, then that's fantastic. But obviously we have distance learning students and part-time students and full-time students and people doing block release and all sorts, so it's always quite difficult to get every single class with a rep. However, we do have a high percentage, but they will come round and try and encourage at least one person per class to be involved in representing that class. So whether it's you feedback to the association on terms of what experience you have in that class, what issues, what good things, what bad things are happening, and that feeds into the wider student voice. So we've got representation right across the whole college, regardless of the level and type of student you are. So you'll probably find that they'll be trying to encourage you to do that role in the next few weeks. So if it does appeal to you, listen in, and if that's for you, then it's a really valuable role to have, and it's beneficial to the student body, and it's beneficial to the college as well. We've changed lots of things because of the student voice, and the class rep system plays a huge role in that. And finally, the last slide, and well done if you've managed to stay with us, because there is a lot of information here, so that's much appreciated. A couple of small things. Every student's got a student email. An email address as part of your IT account. The college will communicate using it, so from time to time it would give you information and details that are important to know, so just to remind you to check that. You should have also all have got a student welcome guide as part of your induction. We produce these every year, and it's full of information for new students to give them a heads up about lots of things. If you didn't get a hard copy of this, it is available on PerthNet under induction for students, so you can get a copy of it there if you didn't get it hard copy handed to you. And the final thing is, from this year we're introducing a college app. So we're going to communicate using the college app. It's free. We just thought it would be a useful way to push information out to students in a social sense and in other senses throughout the year, to let them know. And it's so you can get this on your smartphone, either iPhone or Android. There's QR codes that are available in the welcome guide to let you know how to do it, and we are promoting the QR codes and the links in other places in the college. So if you would like the app, there should be ways to download it onto your phone. There should be the QR codes and bits and pieces across the college, so you can use that. So that's me. I'd just like to say that yes, this has been a lot of information, so could I just say thank you very much for listening. I hope you found it valuable, and I'd like to say good luck in your studies, and I hope you have a great time here at Perth College UHI.